Oh! Did something just break off?
I think we broke the grill
rear bumper up. The rear bumper. Look at the Cybertruck.
What'd you do?
Welcome back. By now we've probably all seen the WhistlinDiesel Cybertruck toughness test. I don't know about you, but I was left with a couple of questions after I actually watched the video. Throughout this video, I want to break down some of the frames of that video to try and shed light on some of the things that had me questioning the authenticity of the Cybertruck test. Biggest question in my mind is how many times did he actually run this test on the Cybertruck where he's driving it off of these culverts? I'm going to throw out a lot of details here. I promise they're all important.
Okay.
All right, the first thing that I actually want to start with, if you haven't seen the video or if you have and you maybe just forgot, let's just watch the clip together, just reviewing what's going on here and all the clips together. So without further ado, let's watch that.
Now it's time for the pothole test, which is why we have these 6-foot tall culverts. I'm 7 foot tall.
You are not 7 foot tall at all.
The trucks are gonna come up the ramp, and that's easy, you know? Then they're gonna fall into these giant ruts every time. We don't have a ramp on this side, so it's just gonna fall off. This is gonna suck. We're gonna go one more, and then we gotta send it, okay? Critical steering issue detected. There it goes.
Here we go.
Ow, ow, ow. Oh. Well, that was very smooth. Something's wrong. The truck is almost on the ground. Oh, it's this side too. Is the air system broken? The air ride system is really, really cool, but it's just not meant for this crazy off-roading. It's going back up. It was at 5, now it's at 7.
See?
Look, 7 and then 12. It's fixing itself. All right, let's try the F-150.
This is gonna hurt, man.
No.
Ow!
It felt like we just blew a tire.
Oh my God.
All right, we're screwed.
Oh!
Did something just break off?
I think we broke the
Did
grill
rear
off.
bumper up. The rear bumper. Look at the Cybertruck.
What?
No!
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God! Our whole frame just snapped. The hitch is hooked up to what? It just came off. Oh my God. You can't even fix that. That's a total truck. What good does the hitch do if it's barely on aluminum? Your trailer would have just fallen off. Bro, that's crazy. Any other normal truck could do that and you're not gonna break the frame. It's steel. You gotta have a steel core. You gotta have something holding this together.
It looks cheap, honestly.
That's what they bought that
Cast,
press
it's cast.
for.
Let's say your trailer hits a pothole or gets a flat. It could shear this whole thing off.
What's the towing capacity? Because to get that certified, they have to go through a ton of testing.
Does it know that the entire rear bumper's gone? Trailer functionality may be unavailable. That does not sound good at all. There's a lot of things dragging. A normal truck would never do that. It's got to be able to do truck things. That was the most truck thing ever. Like, pull out another truck.
All right, so off the top, I really enjoyed the video. It's extremely entertaining. However, it's really important to remember that WhistlinDiesel is an entertainer, not an engineer. I'm not an engineer either, but there were several things here that had me questioning, again, the authenticity of what's going on. And it's pretty apparent to me that there's at least 2 takes going on here. First, I wanted to take out and just show the clips inside of the truck. So it's 7 seconds, and if you didn't think that there was multiple takes going on, if you blink, you'll miss it. But watch this.
This is gonna suck. We're gonna go one more, and then we gotta send it, okay? Critical steering. There we go.
Did you miss it? Just a quick A/B here at the top. So if you look really closely at the screen here inside of the Cybertruck, you'll actually notice that the battery's at 70%. The vehicle is exited off-road mode. But yeah, so he's probably in a very high state of suspension right now. And the next frame here, he's actually down to 68% in battery, and he's back in off-road mode. And it looks like he's at 16.69. That's extract mode. So that's like a super rigid, very bumpy, bouncy height clearance, which would be very apparent from outside the truck as well as inside the truck. So looking at the display here, down to 68%, it's nearly impossible to lose 2% of your battery as you go over a single culvert. To go back into off-road mode, he'd have to have gone into park. He's up on top of the culverts. Final frames here as he's up on top of the culverts. He's now showing that he's entering a low state of suspension. That's 8 inches of ground clearance underneath the truck. That has no business going off of a off-road test. But again, 68%, he's in beast mode. He's not in off-road mode, and he's in low suspension. And then finally, the very, very last bit of it, he's exiting the culverts and he's magically back into off-road mode. There's no critical steering issue, and the vehicle's back up into its 16 inches of ground clearance, and it just doesn't make sense. So had he actually have been in that off-road mode height for clearance, he wouldn't have been in this low / entry height that he's in as he's exiting the culverts here. And then it's time to run the test on the F-150, the built Ford Tough.
It's gonna hurt, man.
Ow! It felt like we just blew a tire.
Oh my god.
Just break off.
I think we broke the grill off.
Did you miss it? This is probably the worst possible thing that you can do if you're ever being recovered, but why would you be pressing on the brakes? Like, I can't for the life of me even begin to believe that there's a reason that you would press the brakes on a truck as you're being recovered off the culverts. Unless you're super close and potentially going to get rear-ended, that I can understand, but that's not the circumstance here. So, and one more last thing to point out here. If you look super duper closely, this is the very last thing that I want to point out, and then I'll kind of wrap this all up. But they had to uncover the hitch of the truck. There's a plastic shroud that ships over. It's just for aero, it's for aesthetic. But they would have to have removed that to tie this chain onto the tow hitch ears that they use for the chain on recovery. I'd argue that they actually already knew that they damaged the Cybertruck casting at this point. I think that they intentionally stepped on the brake, made it difficult to recover, and they did. They succeeded. I mean, if you want to break any truck, toughest truck in the world or not, or whatever, however you feel about the truck, you can. I would argue that the hitch ears on that tow hitch would actually probably have broken before the actual casting had that casting been intact. Castings are really, really strong. The automotive industry at large is actually pursuing castings. Tesla started doing this on the Model Y, and I want to say it's 2020, they started doing, I believe, when they released the Model Y. So Cybertruck has a front and a rear, and then it has a battery on the bottom. It's incredibly strong. But aside from the strength, it's also incredibly repairable. Tesla has a whole documentation about how they can fix these castings. I would argue that it's not a total loss, like he's inferring in this video, and the truck is no longer structurally intact. It's absolutely intact. There's always more than meets the eye with most any YouTube video. When you see something that's scandalous like this, it creates a really great experience and entertainment, and you keep watching. Retention is incentivized on YouTube, so if you can make it juicier and juicier and juicier and juicier, people keep watching. So that's how that works. But in my opinion, they both lost on this test. The Cybertruck, the casting broke here. He crashed it, but it broke. I don't know how a steel ladder frame would behave in this instance, but again, I would bet that there would be some damage to a bumper hitch on any vehicle. The F-150 couldn't even get on top of the culverts. Like it high centered as it entered. So this idea that it did better is insane. Tesla has made the safest vehicles on the road for the last several years. They're unmatched in safety. So the idea that they've somehow overlooked that on the Cybertruck, it's arguably the safest truck on the road, I would bet. Same with the castings. They're engineered to crumple in an impact. So this was an impact, it crumpled, that's what it's supposed to do, but they can fix that. It costs, but they can fix that. That's all. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Later, guys.